Okay, here's a little note to you traditionalists out there who think that perhaps you've got the moral high ground. You Prager University agreeing people. Um, the men's movement has made very obvious to you what the legal and social barriers to success as a married man are, and without fail, every last one of you has just decided, because it's very obvious that you've decided. You decided to not understand what was being said. Not only that, but you have decided, a la Prager University's The Benefits of Marriage video, or whatever the hell it was called, you've decided that you want to take the absolute most gynocentric view you possibly can. I want you to understand something. And this is as a very recent convert to Christianity, but I want you to understand something. Every word of that gynocentric crap is reminiscent of very old pagan beliefs and the worship of a very old goddess type entity, originally known as Semiramis, but has been known since then as like Ishtar, Diana, etc. In other words, you're apostates. Apostates. You're not Christians, you're apostates. You are corrupted. And yeah, I mean, I can find a few biblical phrases to support my view. However, I don't really even have to, because you've been flat out told many, 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 many times exactly what the problems are and the reasons why the social problems that are cropping up now are cropping up. You've been told that for decades. I know, because I was fucking there. I was there, and I was one of the people that was arguing against you. And I still do. I think you, after the social justice warrior left, you are the worst problem on the planet. Because you refuse to acknowledge the realities in front of you. You know, we have been telling you, and you know, that the legal system, the social system, everything about the legal system is very anti-marriage. You know, and we have been telling you for decades, that all of the chips that are stacked up against men when it comes to getting married and all the rest of that, it just doesn't make any sense. It is a total Russian roulette, where 5 of the 6 cylinders are loaded by the time you go through all of the different ways that a man can be fucked in our society. And you've totally ignored that, and you've talked about a responsibility to maintain civilization. Men look at you and go, why should I bother? This civilization hates me. Why should I give a fuck what happens to it? In fact, why shouldn't I celebrate its demise? And the best you can come up with is, well, because, if you don't help, the civilization that hates you will die and be overrun by this godless other people. That's the weakest argument I've ever heard in my life. You have done everything you can to ignore the actual problem, because, it leads to, difficult decisions. It leads to things like, I don't know, having integrity rather than, being popular. You are corrupted for fear of looking bad, just like everybody else out there. The only group that I can find, and this is again as a recent Christian, so I've never been to church really, except for a couple of times where I feared that I would burst into flames when I crossed the threshold. I went to a couple of weddings because I was a photographer. But I've never been a real believer up until very recently. And I'll tell you this, I can't find any other group in the Bible or otherwise, any kind of stories. There is nobody that Jesus Christ ever got violent with except the religious people.